morning. Good morning. My name is Frank Poocher, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to Fresno State on what truly is a great day to be a Bulldog. Our order of speakers today will be our president, Dr. Saul Jimenez Sandoval, followed by Director of Athletics Terry Toomey, and last but not least, of course, new head football coach Jeff Tedford. Our first speaker, Dr. Jimenez Sandoval, of course plays a vital role as the leader of our institution, but it is also important to recognize his commitment to Bulldog athletics. He genuinely believes in the alignment of academics and athletics working as one to push Fresno State and our valley forward. So with that said, it is my pleasure to introduce the 9th president of Fresno State, Dr. Saul Jimenez Sandoval.
Thanks, Frank, and I appreciate all your being here today. I feel the energy in the room, and it's really good to see this. So as a university and region, we were seeking a football coach who really had it all. Number one, passion for football, embodiment of what football is to the region and also to the university and also to our players. And along with that, we wanted someone with a remarkable track record. We also wanted someone who would appreciate the community, who would become part of who we are. That's right. See, he agrees. and really see this as an opportunity for legacy. And what is legacy? Legacy is that which you build over time. Legacy is that which you continuously work on, not for a year, not for 2 years, but for many years, by doing what? Building relationships with each other and really showcasing what we're all about here in the Valley. So with this, a coach would also be a full partner in the vision we have for the stadium, in the vision for what the stadium is, for what the stadium represents to not only Fresno State, but also to the everyday person who's out there and really is rooting for the Dogs. And it's that stadium, that space that brings us all together. It's that neutral space in which we all come together as a community. We are all proud of who we are, and we all cheer on that one team that represents the entire region. And this is for the entire Valley, not just for the Fresno region in itself. So within this context, then I'm really excited today to introduce to you our new head coach, football coach, Jeff Tedford, because he truly fits and embodies all of these criteria and many more. He has a passion, furthermore, for empowering our athletes to come together. The sound is off. All right. So he has a passion for embodying what it is that football is all about within the team, but also as lifelong learners as well. He instills in them the lessons that the field teaches us, to come together, to have grit, to be focused, to never give up. But then these lessons extend well beyond the field. And when they grow up, when they eventually graduate and move on, what happens? They become incredible, powerful, centered, visionary leaders within our communities and beyond as well. So I'm very hopeful for the future of Fresno State football. I'm very hopeful for athletics as a whole as well, both men and women athletics. And I'm very pleased today then to have Coach Tedford as the head football coach. I want to thank Terry Toomey, our Director of Athletics, who has been an incredible resource and incredible visionary leader throughout all of this process, alongside with all my team, especially Debbie Asone. But Terry has really taken this to the foreground, and I really want to thank him for everything he's done to make this happen today. And without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Toomey. Terry, please.
Okay, so now every time Victor speaks, that's like saying amen for me up here. So I just want everybody to know that's a confirmation if Victor says something to us. All right, so I want to begin with some thanks. Okay, I think it's very important that we recognize our blessings here. I am thankful personally here to be able to serve as athletic director here at Fresno State, and also to serve what is an amazing academic community and our valley. It is a blessing to be in this position, so thank you, President, for allowing me to do that. I want to thank our president and our administration. When you have leadership that believes in you and believes in your process and will move the extra mile in order for you to get things done and get them done in a timely manner, that is a blessing. And that does not happen with one person. So our administration has been crucial, and President Jimenez Sandoval has been exemplary in allowing us to move forward, and I appreciate that. I'm thankful to our committee. We had an amazing committee that vetted tons of candidates nationally in order to bring us to this point. They all did an amazing job. From our academic leadership, Dr. Victor Torres, who serves as our FAR, and our academic leadership under Sean McGuire. And of course, we had our community member, Mr. Brian Panish, all serving in that community effort. And lastly, and almost most importantly, I want to thank Donna and the Tedford family for allowing us to once again go down this journey and this path. It is not just a commitment of one person when you take on the leadership role of an entity like Fresno State football. It's a family commitment, and their sacrifice is going to be, I want to make sure that we fulfill the sacrifices that they're making for us and the gratitude that I have for them, and we're going to fulfill that by having a bunch of success here. And there's going to be a lot of fun hoisting trophies and winning games here at Fresno State, which is what we do well, and that's what we always do, and we will continue to do. I also want to, lastly, this is my last thanks, of course. I want to thank, and I don't know how many people recognize this, I want to thank our Kalen DeBoer and his coaching staff for positioning us to where we are today. You know, these men and the staff, men and women, have done an amazing job of keeping the pride and tradition of Fresno State football intact and moving forward. I know Coach DeBoer has went on to do his thing, and that's wonderful. But I'll tell you right now, the men and women that we have here currently continuing to serve our student athletes have done nothing but show professionalism and do an impeccable job of positioning us to win our next contest, the final contest of this season. And I have a huge debt of thanks to them, our strength and conditioning coaches, people in our athletic training, for football athletic training, our recruiting area, the personal and athletic advising. All these people come together to make the experience of student athletes great here at Fresno State, and I thank them for that. So now I get to the good part. I get to the process and kind of what we're all about here. You know, it was an imperative to get this done right. Okay, we needed someone who understood the importance of Bulldog football, who understood the importance of it not only for this university but for our valley, a valley that spans, of course, from Bakersfield all the way up to Sacramento, one of the most important valleys of this nation, who bleed red. They needed to understand what that meant here at Fresno State. We needed to understand somebody, or have somebody who understands the partnership of what you have with this university, who's an ambassador to this university, who understands what this university is all about and will be a partner for the long haul. We needed someone who understood the pride and tradition of the university and of this community. So when I speak of all those things of what we needed, it culminated into a person who is truly a Bulldog. From his undergraduate time period, from his coaching path, wherever it was, at the end of the day, at his core, he has always been and always will be a Fresno State Bulldog. So with that, it is my honor and privilege to introduce our new football head coach, Coach Jeff Tedford.
Thank you very much, Terry. I appreciate that. And it's great seeing you all. Last time we were in this setting was not such happy news, and so I'm really excited to be back here moving forward with a new chapter. And I can't be more excited about this opportunity. I want to thank the president and Terry for the opportunity to do this. I've been a part of this program for a long, long time. You know, when you look back over 40 years of the pride and tradition of Bulldog football is really important to me. And I do want to reiterate on what Terry said about thanking Kalen and his staff for carrying the torch, doing things the right way. We're going to continue to do that. Had a great meeting with the players this morning about what their role is moving forward, and that's to make sure that they continue to do things the right way, focus on their academics and the preparation and commitment and focus for the bowl game. I'm so happy to be here, and you know, over this time I've had time to reflect on certain things, and those things are passion and purpose. And while you're in the middle of coaching, you don't really get a chance to reflect very often. And so the passion is Fresno State football, the game of football itself. That's been part of my life forever, both as a player and a coach. So I'm very passionate about that. And the purpose being the commitment to the young people to reach their full potential in all areas of their life. Football is a big thing. Wins are a big thing. But to make sure that the young men have a great college experience and achieve at their highest potential in all areas, academically, athletically, socially, spiritually, all those things are very, very important. And to make sure that they understand and have pride in and honor where they are, and to make sure that they represent all of us, the university, the program, the community, that they all represent us with integrity. And that's something we will continue to teach here. I want to thank my wife and my kids for their support. They've always been very, very supportive. They understand this. They know the passion that I have, and they also have for Fresno State. It's been a part of their life for a long, long time. And so I can't tell you how fortunate I am to have this opportunity again. I think I can bring some continuity and stability to in this day and age with a lot of the things that go on in the portal and so on and so forth. I think we had a great team meeting this morning, and so I think, you know, as any young person would have some doubt about what's going on, I think this creates a good level of continuity and stability for them and their futures, and to know where it's going to be directed. My first assignment really is to make sure that we solidify a great coaching staff, not just great coaches and teachers, but tremendous people who care about these kids on and off the football field and want to teach and live the values that we all want to live by. And then, of course, recruiting. The timelines in recruiting these days, this is the last recruiting weekend coming up, so as soon as I walk out this door, I will be really committed to what's going on with recruiting and find out who the recruits are. I've already done some background work on it, but look forward to being in touch with all of them. We have a big recruiting weekend this weekend, and so look forward to that, and bringing new Bulldogs in for the future. So I'm very, very excited, humbled by the opportunity again to be here, walking by, you know, all these signs that were here before, walking upstairs and seeing you and I on a picture holding the conference championship trophy. We're going to do that again sometime soon. So, but I love the Valley. I love the people. The support has been incredible over the last few days. And so I want to thank everyone. I really haven't had a chance to reach back to everyone who has been kind enough to text me and welcome me back. I will try to do my best to do that. There's so many familiar faces here. And when you talk about pride and tradition of a 40-year span, to see Harry Gakian sit here, which I don't know what your secret is, Harry. You look the same as you did 40 years ago. You're amazing. I don't know what you're drinking, the water you're drinking, but it's awesome. But to see so many familiar faces of people who have been here for so many years, both when I was a player and a coach before, and I just couldn't be happier. And what the president talked about future facilities, absolutely all in on that, and we'll do whatever I can to promote that and do my part because as I look at it, you know, 40 years ago I had the great opportunity to play in the very first season of Bulldog Stadium in 1981. And here we are 40 years later. And think about the impact that that stadium had on the community and the players that have been in the last 40 years that have gone down that ramp. And if we can have the opportunity to make a difference for the next 50, 60, 100 years for a new group and a new community, fan experience, the whole bit, you know, it's huge. And so I'm all in on that to do whatever I can to promote that and help make that happen. So with that, are we having questions?
Before we open the questions, we're going to quick photo op. I know you guys all want this, but three of you here with the jersey and hat.
So a brief photo op.
Jeffy, scoot over.
He keeps reminding me he wore number 2.
With that, folks, we'll open the questions for any of these three gentlemen. Savannah will be walking around the microphone.
So I've got the mic to go first here. And, well, Coach, welcome back.
Thank you, Paul. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. What was the threshold? What was the moment where, you know, talking to Donna and whoever else about this, you said, you know what, I'm ready to do this again and jump back in and lead this Fresno State football program?
Well, you know, as I departed, the exit was a very emotional one, and it was for good reasons, right? So very difficult position, and I had no idea what was going to happen with the procedure. I'd heard different things of different experiences people had. You know, maybe it took once, twice, 3 times or whatever. And I didn't feel like I wanted to put the program in a position. And so I felt the right thing to do for the program and the university at that time was to back out and make sure to take care of that. As that went along, it took great the first time, and then a couple months to really heal and recover. And then it kind of started, you know, then the mind started working about different things and missing it and really a lot of interaction with players over the last really year and a half, or even when that happened, you know, having a lot of players reach out, kind of goes back to that purpose piece of being able to have an impact on young people's lives. Really started having me reflect on what this role is and the impact that it has in so many people's lives. And so really, you know, for sure in about the last year, I knew I was going to get back into football. And because it's just in my blood, it's who I am. I'm a football coach. I like to think I'm a leader of young people. And so really I knew that I was going to re-engage. I was energized and ready to re-engage. And so, you know, the Lord just happened to, you know, create this position again, which I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. And I'm just fortunate that this is it.
And since you stepped down, the world has changed for everybody in a lot of crazy ways. I'm wondering for you, is there some perspective you have now from everything you just talked about that you think is going to make you an even better coach this time around than you were the last time?
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, I think when you do reflect, there's self-evaluation. There's evaluation of everything, but part of that self-evaluation. And so I think one of the great things about this go-around is I understand the culture here as it has pertained to the last few years. I understand our strengths. I understand our challenges. And, you know, when you first come back to a place after being gone so long the first time, you have to kind of learn the landscape. Well, I feel really comfortable in understanding the landscape and how we can continue to improve on what we need to accomplish. You know, and then in the crazy world it's been in the last, you know, year and a half or whatever, I can't tell you that I'm not happy I wasn't going through this during that period, because that took a lot of patience. And, you know, so I really admire Kaylin, the staff, everybody in administration, everyone who was in this profession to go through what has gone on in the last year and a half. So I have a great deal of appreciation for that. And, I'm sure the kids have a great deal of appreciation when the thing gets back to normal. I think part of the things that we like to teach is to have a sense of gratitude about where we are and what we have the opportunity to do. And I think through the challenges that have gone on, it helps you reflect on the gratitude when things get back to normal of what we're so fortunate to have and be a part of.
Coach Scott Bemis here
Hi,
with
Scott.
KC24, CBS 47. Good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm just curious, how hard was the conversation, if at all, with your family, with your wife and kids about getting back into coaching?
Not very hard. I mean, it's they know what I'm about, and so they've always been. My wife has always been very, very supportive of what was going on. If we were going to move away and go coach somewhere else, she was supportive of that too. But obviously, to be able to stay here and be a part of the community, be around our kids. We have a new grandchild, and so we're fired up about that. So of course, they want me to be happy, and now that they know I'm healthy, and it makes us all happy. My kids are very involved and very supportive, and so no, it wasn't a difficult conversation at all.
Will you change at all? Maybe your coaching, I guess, the amount of time that you spend, or anything that you're going to look at a little differently as far as, with your past history with your health? Will you approach it, with, I don't know, maybe not as intense? I know that's hard to say, but will you approach it any differently?
Not the coaching piece, no. I think personally there are things that I will do as far as making sure that I keep up on a exercise regiment and, try to eat better and do all those kind of things that everyone should really do, and but as far as the coaching's concerned, I know one way to do it, really, and that's attention to detail. And, I can't see that changing whatsoever. I'm not in this to be average or mediocre. We have a job to do, and but I do realize that there needs to be a balance as far as that's concerned. And so you may see me jogging around the building, here every now and then and things like that, just to make sure that everything's good that way. But I feel great, and that's really probably the only thing that's going to change is I just make sure and look after myself a little bit better.
And then just lastly, real quick, when you decided to make the decision to get back into coaching, did you hope that this position would come available? I mean, in your wildest dreams, did you ever imagine that it would be Fresno State?
No, I hadn't. No, I mean, it's not that I didn't hope it happened, but I would not think that this would come up like this. I was anticipating probably, moving somewhere else to do it. And, and like I said, we're blessed, and things happen, for a reason. And, I wish Kaylin and the staff nothing but the best. Kaylin's a great friend. He kind of took the foundation that we laid and kind of kept going and kind of carried the torch. And I know he wishes us all the best here. He loves it here, but things happen in this business, right? And it just, the timing was right. And like I said, very blessed. And, we've been led in the right direction many, many times through our life, and this is just one more example of it.
Hi, Coach Freeman with ABC 30. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Given what's happened with the players the past week, being a leader of young people, how did you just walk into that locker room and just kind of, control their fears and doubt about what they've had and what they've gone through?
Well, and I don't think we shouldn't condemn any young person when there's a change, because uncertainty is scary to everyone, right? And so it causes doubt. Nobody likes to live in doubt. But the kids in this room today, I probably recruited 85% of them. I've been in every one of their homes. I know, I talked to Mims about his twin brothers today. And, I've been around these guys a lot. So, when I say continuity, stability, it comes in a lot of different forms. to understand our philosophy about, what's important to us. And so I've already met with some of them up in my office, had a great meeting with them here. And so I think when some uncertainty creeps in, just because it's human nature and they're young, and with the rules and the things that are going on with the portal and things like that, I think it causes everybody to just to take a peek at, what's going on. And so I hope, at least, I got the sense that stability today and some continuity about what we're going to do in a lot of things, how we do things academically and with the leadership of Sean McGuire, and how we do things, terminology that we're going to have, and, what we stand for. I think those things are comforting to kids, to know that there's a sense of consistency that's going to happen, that, you're not bringing somebody in here that's going to run the triple option, or something like that. It's just, so I think it went really, really well. And I think now they can really focus on finishing strong academically, because that's critical, that they reach their full potential academically. And now they can focus on bringing home that trophy. I showed them a sign of the New Mexico Bowl trophy and told them, you need to come, want some of your hands on this trophy, bringing this back in here, because that's what they deserve. They've had a 9-win season. It's very hard and rare to have a 10-win season. And so they have a great opportunity to do that. But that only happens with focus and preparation. And now that this is settled, I really believe it may give them a peace of mind that they can do that they can focus and settle in on the job at hand.
It's our understanding that Lee Marks will be the interim head coach for the bowl game. So what will be just your role over the next 2 weeks for the game?
Well, I'm figuring that, I'm not going to be the head coach of the game. I'm going to spend most of my time recruiting, and I'm going to spend most of my time hiring staff. But I will have some messages for the team, of course, on where we're going. And I'm sure they will come up and talk to me with individual issues they may have or whatever. I really want to get to know the players, the small percentage of players that I didn't recruit. So I want to meet with them as well. But I will be, mainly it's going to be all about, trying to have the kids, and I've talked to the coaches that are going to coach in the game. I've already met with them, and they're totally on board with making this a great bowl experience for these kids. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about the kids. It's about their experience, that they're going to go. They're going to have a great experience. They're going to finish the season strong, and the coaches that are coaching the game are committed to that. And you can have a balance with that. They can continue to be able to, do something where they are and still be passionate about what they're doing with our young men. And I made sure and asked them, and they were totally on board with, absolutely, we want to finish this thing for these kids the right way.
You inherited a program that was 1-11. Now you're inheriting one that was, ranked twice in the top 25 this season. How does that just excite you, walking into a program like that?
Well, it's great, yeah. It's great. I think a lot of the same things are still true. It doesn't matter if you have 1 win or 9 wins, because we start over, So we start over from the basics, the foundation, and and maybe there's even more motivation that we were right there and the job didn't get finished, and there's a job to finish. And it's like a couple of them up there, I pointed to that trophy when we were holding it, and I said, our job is to hold that trophy again, right? And so I think it's exciting. To me, it has a little bit of what happened in 2017 and 2018. In 17, we won 10 games, but we stumbled a couple times. We stubbed our toe on some times where we shouldn't have. And then the next year, we won 12 games in the conference championship. It has a little bit of that feel as, hey, we left a little bit out there. And in order to get that, there needs to be some things that need to be done. And so I think it's even more exciting, to tell you the truth, because I think they have some confidence in where they are and even what they can be. Well, those are good questions. Right now, I'm getting ready to go up and really study the roster, see who's on our recruiting board, and obviously the portal is a huge thing, and it has to be monitored continually because it's always a moving target. And so we'll take a look at where we are, and I would anticipate trying to get it. That's going to be part of the recruiting process we have. That's why I say I'm going to be busy doing a lot of that in the next 5, 6, 7 days at least until signing date, and which is next Wednesday. And so I'll be looking into a lot of that. I don't have any concrete answers on those issues right now.
And Coach, any clues on who your coaching staff may be for next season? Any ideas for your offensive coordinator, and do you think you'll be bringing back members of the current coaching staff?
Well, that's also being discussed. It's amazing, and that's why it makes you feel so fortunate to be a part of this and have a job, because I can't tell you how my phone is just blown up with candidates on, who would love to coach, who would love to be a part of our staff, part of this tradition. And so I will be weighing all that. I have a pretty good idea, but I think it's only fair that I have individual conversations with people before I announce it in a setting like this. You're welcome.
Hey, Coach. Over here on your right. Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Good to see you again.
You too.
Hey, 5 years ago, you brought in an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator with no ties to Fresno State, and then you look at the success that those two men have had since they were here. I mean, they were obviously great choices on your part, and I believe those are people you identified and recruited as coaches. So I guess my question is, do you have the next Kalen DeBoer and Orlando Steinhauer in mind already?
Well, like I said, I have a large list of candidates, but that takes talking with them, making sure that their philosophies are conducive with what we have going on, and that's what we were able to find with Kalen, and that's what we were able to find with Orlando. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't Orlando in the Grey Cup? So the Super Bowl, so you talk about, I don't know that you could find two more quality coaches, but the best people you could ever want to be around. So that comes in talking, making sure that we understand each other. And I will do my best to make sure that we surround ourselves with those type of people because we're very fortunate. Last go around, I'm going to try hard to make sure that we have that consistency with the same type of people that we bring in now.
Hey, Coach. Chris Aguirre from the Hanford Sentinel. When this job came open, everybody was right away saying your name, calling for you. What did that mean to you that the community, really wanted you to come back? What did that mean to you? Yeah, it was very humbling. It really was. It's the amount of support that's been shown over the last, I don't know, it seems like it all happened kind of fast, maybe the last 3 days or whatever, or, I don't know, maybe 8 days that Kalen made a decision or his announcement. It has been continual, and it just reiterates in my mind what the Valley's about, what the relationships that we have in the Valley, what the passion that people have had over the last 8 days just is loud and clear, right, about how much the university and Bulldog football mean to them. And so it was overwhelming, the support for the program, number one, and then, very humbling to have the support from people throughout the community. It's very interesting. I've heard a lot of stories. I went to the hardware store the other day, and about 5 people hit me up in the hardware store, and this little older lady with her bubble wrap is right behind me, and Coach, you coming back? And I'm like, I don't know, I hope so. And she said, well, we can't go anymore. My husband's not doing well, but you got to do something with that stadium, da-da-da. She's all into it. I'm like, I know, I get it. But, hopefully when we do, you can come back, And so it's been pretty much everywhere, that around town. And Fresno's a small, big town, right? And so, but there's just so many people and so many friendships and relationships that we've cultivated over 40 years. And it's like from 40 years up until now, you know, and so it's pretty cool. It really is. It's really cool to have so many people that I can call friends and supporters of the university. Go Dogs! Safe trip to you. All right, see ya.
I'm glad. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.